Sex drive is a big topic that's usually not discussed because people feel embarrassed to discuss it. And people automatically think of testosterone when they think of sex drive. While obviously they are related, testosterone is not the only thing impacting your sex drive. You can still have high testosterone and a low sex drive. To find out exactly how to increase your sex drive, stay tuned till the end. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to yet another video. I hope everyone that celebrated Christmas had a great time celebrating. I hope those people that even didn't celebrate Christmas had a great time with family, friends and whatnot, just enjoyed the season for what it's worth. And let's get right into this video. So sex drive. Sex drive is one of those things you'll search, not many people will talk about it, and a lot of people won't even go to the doctor about it because they'll just be too embarrassed to talk about it, which makes sense in a lot of ways, but it's definitely something that needs to be talked about. And in this video, I'm going to address ways in which you can increase your sex drive. Obviously, the usual applies. I'm not a doctor, and if you're suffering with an extreme condition for a long period of time, definitely visit your doctor. I'm not here to diagnose anything. So the full spiel is on the screen. Anyway, so let's get right into it. So firstly, a 2006 study by Travison et al. Actually looked at 1,632 men. And what they did was they asked these men about their sex drive. Then they tested their testosterone levels. And they actually found that men with low sex drive had low testosterone levels. However, low sex drive is a symptom of low testosterone. It's not a direct cause. So if you have high testosterone or if you have low testosterone, it doesn't mean it's going to correlate with either high or low sex drive. It just means that it's a symptom, and it's if you have low sex drive, it could be that you have low testosterone levels. And there are things obviously that impact testosterone levels, so let's just highlight those things first. So if it is your testosterone that's low, that's impacting your sex drive, look at things like alcohol, how frequently are you drinking, look at things like pharmaceuticals, statins lower testosterone, antidepressants lower testosterone, antihistamines lower testosterone, and a bunch of other things significantly impact your testosterone levels. You've got to look at mineral deficiencies. So you look at zinc and magnesium mainly. There are other minerals and vitamins that can impact testosterone as well, more indirectly. Vitamin D levels obviously as well. But if you've had your full blood panel done and your vitamins and minerals are largely covered, you're within the ranges, and your testosterone is between 500 nanograms per deciliter and 1,000, the average range is probably around 300 to 1,000, but that's such a big range, and that range has decreased over the years. But I would say that if you're within 500 to 1,000, testosterone isn't likely your problem. If your testosterone is like below 300 or between 300 and 500, it might be that testosterone is your problem, and that should be the thing first addressed rather than just looking at sex drive individually. It could potentially, and it probably is, your low testosterone giving you low sex drive. And then let's look at two things which are going to significantly impact your sex drive, and those are stress and sleep. So, but the funny thing is, it's not funny actually, the thing is, high stress will make you sleep less, and then because you sleep less, your stress will increase, and it'll be a giant feedback loop. Look, I completely get it. We all get those moments where we get a deadline, and then what happens is from the deadline, it could be a deadline, it could be something crop up in a relationship or family crisis or whatever it is. Immediately we get a stress response, which is extremely normal. But what happens is if that stress response compounds with other stresses in life and keeps compounding over time, then you get a situation where you're just stress takes over your life, and it's going to significantly impact your sex drive. So it makes sense to start here. Identify your stressors and come up with an action plan to manage those stressors. You know, if it's a toxic relationship or toxic friendship, you may have to just give that one a hard pass, or you may have to just discuss with that person how they can help you reduce your stress levels, because to be honest, stress levels and also like it affecting your sleep. It's obviously going to impact your muscle gain, your fat loss, as well as your sex drive. So it's all related. That's one of the main reasons I'm doing this video as well, is if you take care of the things necessary to build muscle and lose fat, you're likely gonna see your sex drive increase from where it is now. If it is low, and if it's not low and it's relatively high, it can still increase further if these things are present in your life. Getting in 7 to 9 hours a night sleep will boost your sex drive and also will boost testosterone levels at the same time. So it's important to get enough sleep in. But if you're getting maybe 5 to 6 nights of 7 to 9 hours and the other 2 nights, maybe 1 to 2 nights even, you're getting between 5 and 6 hours, it's gonna still be fine. You don't have to worry about the 1 or 2 nights where you don't get enough sleep. You know, I know the life gets in the way. I know, you know, you're not gonna have a perfect night's sleep every night. But anyway, I do have a video I made a while back on some sleep tips that will help you get a better night's sleep. So watch that if you're interested in learning how to sleep better. And moving forward with the whole testosterone argument, testosterone drops naturally 1% each year, every year after the age of 30. So you're looking at not a significant decline, but when you factor in lifestyle like factors such as sleep, stress, diet and whatnot, then you're looking at probably a much larger decrease in testosterone levels. Like I said earlier, it's probably a good idea to get your testosterone measured, get your blood work done, find out exactly where you are, find out if it's that's impacting your sex drive. If not, it could likely be stress levels. So those two things you have tools in your toolbox to understand what's going to impact your sex drive. Obviously, you know, you can never know for sure, but all you can do is just cover everything you can cover, and then, you know, that takes most of the guesswork out. This 2020 meta-analysis actually showed that resistance training increased testosterone levels, although I've got to say that testosterone levels after resistance training are largely transient. So they go up, then they return back to baseline, and it's unsure whether or to what degree they affect your testosterone levels over time. So I wouldn't really rely on that, but it's obviously good to fit in some resistance training. But there was another study that showed actually that losing fat led to an increase in testosterone levels. So it's a good idea to get in shape, lose the body fat, do some resistance training, along with obviously lowering stress levels. But then again, I've got to revisit the resistance training, because if you're going too far with the resistance training with too much volume and too frequently and not recovering properly, then you're going to impact your sex drive and impact your testosterone. Trust me, I've been there and I've done that, and it definitely impacts it. And then we've got to look at whether you're on a low-fat diet. If you're on a low-fat diet, you're likely to see reductions in testosterone levels. This has been backed up in a few different studies. However, increasing the fat in your diet is not going to increase your testosterone by that much, up to 13% if I can remember off the top of my head. I can't remember which study, but it will be on the screen now. But it's a good idea to include fats in your diet, include fats from like avocados, olive oil, nuts, seeds, obviously if those agree with you, but avocado and olive oil are a great source of fat. Eggs as well. Eggs are a great source of saturated fat. I know you've been told probably all your life to avoid saturated fat, but you need a certain amount of saturated fat for cholesterol production, which increases testosterone levels. So remember to include those fats, and also remove plastics where you can in your diet. Plastic water contains PCBs, which are like estrogen mimicking compounds, and what they can do is they can lower testosterone over time, especially if you haven't drinking a lot of bottled water, using a lot of plastic containers. So replace them wherever possible. Get like a stainless steel bottled water, refill it yourself with filtered water, and you'll, I don't know if you'll notice the increases from that, but you're just protecting yourself against estrogen, basically, and protecting yourself against those plastics, which you definitely don't want in your body for a variety of reasons. Now, when you've covered everything else, when you've covered everything I discussed, like stress, sleep, got some resistance training in, made sure you're not eating a low-fat diet, then you can look at supplements. But only then, I would say cover those things first. then you can get to the supplements, because supplements are only going to supplement your diet and your lifestyle. They're not going to give you a miraculous boost. No natural substance is really going to give you a humongous boost unless it's something like zinc and magnesium and you're seriously deficient in those. You'll only know that through blood work. But there are two supplements that have a fair amount of research behind them. Not enough to say they definitely work, but a 2002 study by Gonzalez et al. Actually found that maca, while it didn't increase testosterone levels, it increased sex drive. And that's quite useful because it's a relatively cheap supplement. It's a natural herb. It's a Peruvian herb. I think it's Peruvian ginseng, if I can remember correctly. But anyway, it's you could buy it in capsule form, powder form. If you buy it in either 1,500 to 3,000 milligrams daily, should be enough to gain these benefits. And I would cycle it. I would take it for a period of time, then I would stop taking it, maybe take it for 2 months, then stop taking it for 1 to 2 months, and then you can use something else like the next one I'm going to go into very shortly. But if you're taking that, you can take it around lunchtime, because I do think it has slight stimulatory effects, but I could be wrong. I do remember reading that somewhere. I just can't remember exactly when. I couldn't find the data for it, but there's not much done in the way of human trials, so there's not really much to say that this is the definite dose, but play around with that dose, and like I said, you can come off it and come back on it as well. You may see a big increase, you may see a small increase, but overall, supplements are likely just to give just that slight increase. When everything else is like as good as it can be, then you can introduce supplements. The next one is Tonka Ali, or Uricema Longjack. I don't even know how to pronounce that first one, but Longjack, and you'll see this talked about quite often. I actually did a video on it quite recently, and this is quite effective at improving sex drive, instances of erectile dysfunction, increasing testosterone slightly as well. And this is something you can take between 200 to 400 milligrams a day. I would suggest taking this at nighttime because it does lower cortisol levels, does lower stress levels. That's a nice thing to have around dinner time, because then when you go obviously to sleep, you're going to be not, I don't know about much more, you're going to be relaxed and you'll be able to get into that sleep state that bit easier. I did a full video on this a while back, so you can watch this at the end. It will be one of the videos you can click on, so watch that if you want a deeper dive into Tonka Ali. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, give it a massive thumbs up. If you have any questions at all, comment below. And if you would like to work with me one-on-one, then reach out to me, adam@adamscottfit.com. Send me a message on Instagram, adamscottfit, or just, either one of those two. Those are the best ways to reach out to me. Send me a message and we can talk about if and how I can help you achieve your goals. Anyway, if you haven't clicked that subscribe button, click the subscribe button. If you haven't shared this with a friend, then maybe that's a good idea to do right now. Until the next video, keep pushing those limits.